to go ahead and perpetuate this argument.
Stereotype of being violent, or extremists wanting to take over all this other. What type of message are we sending by openly praying in Times Square? What kind of message are we sending saying we need the Adhan 5 times in major cities in the United States? Look, we can't get mad at people here saying we don't want these guys praying out on our streets or playing the Adhan. We can't get mad at them for that when if they went to one of our countries and tried to do what you're doing here.
Well, that's a great point there, except for the fact that when you do go to Muslim countries, Christians do pray there. I myself was in Pakistan, and Pakistan is a country that many people give negative stereotypes to about this. And I saw huge churches, not just churches. I saw Christmas festivals. I saw Pakistani TV playing all kinds of Christmas things on there in the open. Not just that, Christians had a celebration for Christmas out in the parks in Pakistan, openly, out in visible sight. They were praying. They were doing their mass in the open in Pakistan. In fact, I was just in the UAE, and you can see huge Christmas trees. You can see Christians out there in the open. In fact, in many Muslim countries, in fact, very interestingly, I just recently went to another Muslim country, which was Malaysia, beautiful country. In Malaysia, I saw people who were practicing Tai Chi, people who were practicing yoga in parks, public parks. They were out there in the morning practicing their religious traditions. Nobody said anything to them. They were protected in Muslim countries. Look, we as Muslims live by the laws of the land. It is perfectly legal for us to pray in our mosques. It's also legal to pray in public places. We're not blocking traffic. We're not causing harm. But when we need to pray as Muslims 5 times a day, if there's not a mosque there, right, then we'll have to pray somewhere where it is away from people, minding our business. Like in Florida, they had a permit to be able to hold an event that day, and they were praying in the early morning, Fajr time. I mean, early morning, everybody's asleep, privately, on the side, legally. Not trying to take over or dominance. No, we're just praying. These are the obligatory actions that we have. Now, people who fly from out of state to go there and spit on them and put bacon in their face and cuss at them, is that not trying to show hatred and sow disunity and discord in a community that we live in? We don't do that. If Christians have a parade for Christmas, for example, that's in the public space. That's a religious festival that they have, even though it's not actually Christianity, it's a pagan festival, but they do it. They say Jesus is the reason for the season, and they have a parade in Times Square. Do we say, oh no, that's a religious tradition, you can't have that? No, they have the right legally. Then if we have the right to practice our religion openly, legally, under the Constitution of the United States. So we will not apologize for that, and we will not back down from that. And to say that they would be arrested for doing that in a Muslim country, just whoever that Myron, is that who that was, is ignorant. And I invite him, if you want to go with me, we'll go to the UAE, we'll go to Kuwait, we'll go to even Saudi, we'll go all over the Muslim world. Malaysia, Indonesia, I will show you Christians, and not just in their churches. I will show you them in the streets, wearing crosses, having religious festivals. I will show you with Christmas parades and all kinds of church services that are held in parks, in the open. Hindus practicing their religion, Sikhs practicing their religion. Today in Quebec, they're passing a law that's banning people in the public sector from wearing turbans for Sikhs, from wearing crucifixes for Christians, hijab for Muslims, to the point where they don't want you to have beards and so on. Now that is less religious freedom than any Muslim country I can think of. Even in Afghanistan, they have declared that Sikhs have the right to wear turbans and worship in their temples. Even in countries like Pakistan, there are people who openly wear crosses, people who work for the Pakistani government that are Christians. When I was a little child in Pakistan, my math teacher was a Pakistani Christian, and she, in a government school, used to wear a crucifix openly, huge crucifix, and nobody gave her a hard time. In fact, we respected her. Name was Mrs. Paul. I still remember her. People respected that, and she would have a special break to go and pray, because in the Pakistani Christian church, they had a service that conflicted with one of the days that we had school, because Sundays at that time we used to have school. We used to have Friday and Saturday off. Sunday was a school day. So she had special permission to leave and go attend her church service in Pakistan. So people are ignorant. People need to go and travel. I was in Indonesia. I saw Mormon, the LDS Christian missionaries. I saw evangelical missionaries that the government allowed to be there. I saw churches that next to mosques that during their mass they use the mosque's parking, and during the Jum'ah the mosque uses their parking, and they live harmoniously in the most populated Muslim country in the world. So ignorance breeds these kinds of statements. This is not true. If we're praying in Times Square, we have permits. We take legal permission for it. We have the constitutional right to do so. If people of the Jewish faith go during Hanukkah and light their candles out in the open in New York, and I've seen it myself, and have their own gatherings, nothing wrong with that. The Constitution of the United States allows that. If Christians go during Mass and go in the streets and they have parades and they have different kinds of events that are going on, St. Patrick's Day, which are religious traditions, then they have the right to do so in the country. We don't say, oh, you're trying to dominate the country. No, we respect the law and we respect people's rights to practice their religion.
People have been asking me to, they sent me some clips and they wanted me to respond to this this guy, Myron. And one of the other things that I was real surprised, he was claiming that I'm an American citizen, I was born here. And most of the people who were Muslims, that we're guests here, even those that are born here. Which is very interesting because it's a Christian country. But I don't think he's really thoroughly studied Christianity. I mean, the founding fathers, what they were truly upon. They were deists.
That's he's absolutely wrong. First off,
they ran away from Christian persecution from Britain. They came here. And how they set it up, it wasn't as a Christian nation.
100%.
Yeah, this is also.
I mean, first thing to understand that this nation was founded on freedom of religion.
Yes.
In fact, from the earliest founding fathers of America, there were those that praised Islam. For example, Thomas Jefferson had a Quran, and you can find it today, Thomas Jefferson's Quran. And there were people that held views that would not be in line with Trinitarian Christianity today. Thomas Jefferson, for example, was a Unitarian. He believed in one God, not the Trinity, and he wrote against the Trinity, and he had the right to do so. In fact, from the earliest people in this country, there were Muslims, people that were brought here as slaves, people that were Muslims, who were scholars, who were people that wrote books, and they have been documented.
They got kidnapped, brought here, they helped build America.
They did.
The Muslims.
And after that, many Muslim immigrants that came hundreds of years ago now, that came to Detroit, that came to the West Coast even. I mean, in places like Stockton, Lodi, in Sacramento, you will find historic documentation of Muslims that came over 100 years ago and built this nation, built the car industry, built railroads that were part of this nation. And this nation has been built on respecting them. This is not about being guests. If they're guests, then every European that immigrated here from Ireland and Germany and so on are guests too. Unless your name is Standing Bull or something, you really can't be saying that. Mm-hmm. If you're a citizen of this country, you have just as much right to be here as any other citizen. And we are citizens of this country, and we have that right. And nobody has the right to tell us that you don't belong here.
People can look up Treaty of Tripoli.
Yes.
It makes it clear. The founding fathers, in this document, it says it specifically, America was not founded as a Christian nation. It's clear,
100%.
Lucid in there. And they were deists. They were not what many of these people claim. People don't read nowadays. They don't go back and study.
I mean, even if somebody's an atheist or agnostic or somebody of the faith or somebody of the Hindu faith or the Buddhist faith, they have the right to be in this country. This country is not only for Christians, and it doesn't mean that if you're not Christian, you're not a citizen. That is not a part of our Constitution, and it's never been that way. And anybody who thinks that way is either ignorant or hateful.